Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Tonight, I have the Wheel of Whiskey Doom table thing. Still have not really landed on a good name for this. I kind of like Wheel of Whiskey, actually. As I just said that, something about alliteration, pretty good stuff. So, I want to say hi to a few people first. Hey, Rob Gill, more. I want to say hi to a few people first. Just, there's this guy. His name is, actually, I remember it. His name is Cho, and he is a friend of mine. And occasionally, or he's a friend of my sister-in-law's boyfriend. And he's a big fan of the channel. I just wanted to say hi to you, Cho. I hope you're appreciating the, I hope Brian got you that cup. If not, then you absolutely will be getting this guy right here. I kind of give these away to people in person. So anyway, just wanted to say hi. And little bit of housekeeping stuff before we get started on the old wheel of whiskey. Wheel of mystery whiskey. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Okay, so a few things. Number one, had a great week. I got a couple of new patrons to the channel. I just want to shout them out a little bit. So Caleb Shipley, he ended up upping his pledge. So thank you very much. I'm sorry, no, he ended up joining. Wait a minute. I think I put him in the wrong place. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so Caleb Shipley did something on Patreon. I'm pretty sure that he upped his pledge, actually. And then Jason Coates, he joined as well. So thank you very, very much, Jason. Long time viewer of the channel. Finally pulling the trigger and joining on Patreon. So thank you very much. I want to remind everybody that the whiskey coffee, the Bill's Bourbon blend, is still available. And it is awesome. I actually just had a cup about an hour ago because I wanted to have some energy for this live stream. I was sitting on the couch. I was yawning. I was just drifting. I had a very late night last night, which I'll tell you guys about too. I know, Steve, I was hoping that you weren't going to see that. I forgot to change it before the stream started. I'm so sorry. I promise I will fix it for next week. Anyway, so I'm so sorry, Steve. I even knew. I clicked away from the Patreon screen fast because I didn't want you to see that I fail. Anyway, all right, so a couple more things. Real quick, I have a new shirt as well called, it's Drinking with Power. It's got the glove, got the power glove on there, and that's available now on the Teespring store as well. So let's get into the meat of the episode. I have 50 different whiskeys on the Wheel of Whiskey, and I like to pick one at random. And I have no idea about anything about it. The only thing I can say is that a lot of times I get Cedar Ridge because a certain man named Big Sexy is very generous. But yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to pick. So I'm going to pick this one. Ooh. Oh no, it's a Matt Zitrick from Whiskey Crusaders. No idea what it says. Looks like a 4-letter word. It's a 28-year-old whiskey. I can say that part. So it's maybe Spicy River or Jury River. It looks like SIRY, Siri River. It's 45.3% ABV. If anybody out there can help me to identify this whiskey before I get going. Oh, good. Matt's in the stream. I think your Stag Junior and McKellen Edition series have all been consumed. I believe you are correct. There's one more person I wanted to shout out, and I'm excited about this. So Whiskey Central is a brand new whiskey tuber channel. They got a cool logo. They just put out their first video today, and they sucked up to me a little bit, so that's part of the reason I'm giving them a shout out. I have not watched the video yet, full disclosure, but they did Jack Daniels as their first video as an homage to their favorite whiskey tuber. So you're welcome. So go check them out. If you would like whiskey, oh my God, what did I just say? Whiskey Central. I wanted to say Whiskey Channel for some reason. Whiskey Central. If you'd like to drop a link to your YouTube channel in the feed, and Steve, if you wouldn't mind just kind of making sure that one shows up, that would be awesome. And go check them out. If they're any good, give them a sub. All right. How long have I been doing this channel? I have been doing this channel. Technically, I started the channel September of 2014, but I didn't put out my first video until March 4th, 2015. So I've been doing the channel for over 5 years. So smells really good. All right, so is it Spey River? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. How is that a P, Matt? You know, like, I realize it's an old joke at this point about how bad your handwriting is, and one of these days you're just never gonna send me things anymore because I made fun of you too much. But somebody, you should work on your handwriting. All right, so smell here. I could have told you it was a Speyside all day long. It smells of fruit. It smells of lightness, kind of a little grassy. Mostly pears, mostly apples. Classic Speyside. I suspect that this is going to get real good when I take a sip of this. So, first cheers of the night. Let's see, who should this go to? Not going to get political, promise. But I will say the first cheers, I think very much this week, deservingly, goes to both sides of what's currently going on. I'm not going to say too many specifics because I don't want demonetization, all that. But you guys know what's happening. There's all kinds of chaos, and there's good people on both sides. So cheers to everybody who's fighting the good fight from whatever side you think you should be on. Cheers. Hey, Jason. Thanks for showing up. Nice to see you. So, for those of you that don't know, I mean, I'm sure that all of you follow Jason because he does a fantastic live stream. The funny thing about Jason this week, I believe Jason might have developed a cocaine habit. And the reason I'm saying that is I believe Jason has done 3 separate live streams this week. And that's not human. That is not a thing that a sane person is able to do. Both of them have, 2 of them have been during the day. One of them was actually just this morning. And I personally love that because I'll be at work, you know, looking for something to listen to. A lot of time I'm just listening to the same music, same, you know, whatever kind of work music or maybe a podcast. But listening to a live stream of a whiskey tuber, fantastic stuff. Love it. All right. So let's talk about the taste here. Now, this was interesting because it's 45.8, which is not super hot, but a Speyside at a higher ABV is not something I have very often. And the lightness of both the nose and the taste when you first get it are deceiving because this has a little bit of a kick to it, especially at 90 proof or 91-ish. Very interesting. I want to drink a couple more sips of this before I really decide whether I like it or not. I am definitely... Hold on. Not a thing a sane person can do. There, you see? Yeah, he's not sane. You're completely right. Anyway, so I don't want to give too much of my opinion on this one yet. I want to let this settle because it's my first drink of the night. And I may... Well, is that technically true? It's not my first drink today. I was up till about 2 o'clock this morning drinking with friends over Skype. What was supposed to be a 1-hour just hangout from 9 to 10-ish turned into 9 until about 2 o'clock. I think it was like 4.5 hours is what we did. So however that works out. All I know is I did not go to bed until after 2 o'clock, and I had so much to drink. I had two normal size, well, not normal, but like you know, about the size of the microphone style beers, like craft beers. You guys all know those typical cans that they come in, and I had 2 of those. Good stuff. But I like to drink kind of, you know, imperials. I like to drink things with higher ABV. You know, I don't often drink too many beers under 6.5. Most of them are closer to 8 or even 11 if I can find something real good. But last I had a couple of those. I have, you guys can't really, oh yeah, you can see it. So I've got this whiskey shelf over here that I end up kind of putting whatever I might need during the course of a live stream or a video or something like that. And I have this stuff all at arm's length, which is dangerous because this is also where I do my real work job. I have 3 monitors that are right underneath the table here. I just lift them up, I put them right on the table, and I get all my stuff, and I'm good. Now, I don't drink during the day because that's wrong, but there are times where a meeting is happening, and this is an awful convenient thing to reach over for. I don't, but it's tempting. Anyway, so last night on this friend hangout thing, I was just kind of looking for something to do, because we were still talking for hours. And I finished my 2 beers, and I just started pouring whiskey. I happen to have my Norland glass, which was right over there, which I don't normally drink out of, but it was there. My only clean glass down here. And I think I poured 6 different whiskeys. And it got a lot. I had the Jameson Black Barrel. I had the Sagamore Rye. I had Gooderham and Worts. I had Highland Park 12. I had Highland Park 15. And that was it. So I had, no, wait. Yes, that was it. I had 5 whiskeys last night. So quite a bit. All right. We're beer brothers. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Are you guys all into beer too? Because I'm a big fan of beer. I drink a lot of beer. That sounds terrible, but you know, we're all alcoholics here anyway. Cheers to that. Yeah, 3 monitors for working. Yeah, no doubt, man. That's the only way to go. I have 3 monitors, including my laptop. See, that's where you're wrong. You got to do the 3 full monitors all side to side, so you got like a big old thing. Now, see, I don't think I would actually like one of those like 40, 50 inch curved monitors, only because I like the logical separator of the different windows, because I have like email over here, you know, whatever I'm viewing here, code, or you know, whatever I'm working on right in the middle. So anyway, you guys don't care about that. Hey, Bourbon Journey, what's going on? Yes, beer is great. I love stout. Yeah, man, Whiskey Central. You guys, I have a feeling there's going to be a collab at some point. I think we have a lot in common. I was talking to them over email earlier this week as well. I owe you a response. All right, so let's keep going into this 28-year-old whiskey, because that's a hell of a thing to do. And thanks again, Matt. All right, so Matt, question for you. I know that when you put these little boxes together for me, you think about the stuff I like, and I think that's awesome. And you obviously have quite a bit of selection. Is there any particular reason that you picked this 28-year-old Speyside for me? Because I gotta tell you, this hits a lot of marks for me, but the flavor isn't quite there. I like Speysides. I like high ABV. It's not huge ABV, but it tastes like a high ABV Speyside, which I don't know how I'm feeling about this, to be honest. But I'm curious if there's any particular thing that you love about this whiskey. And of course, guys, let me know in the chat what you are drinking, because it's a very important question. I'm going to take this little guy off the screen because that's taking up a lot of space and is blocking the spinny. So interesting thing happened to me earlier this week. Actually, it was last weekend. As you all saw, that beginner whiskey video that I put out last Sunday, that video is doing pretty well for me. I'm hopeful that over time it will continue to just grow. I think it probably will. Yes, because I opened it on your stream. Oh, okay. That's all that matters. Bill was the Gooderham and Worts 4 grain or the 11 souls. This is the 4 grain. The 4 grain has been underwhelming. Yeah. I mean, I had it while I was drinking already, and so I reached for the Canadian. I know that people think pretty well of that brand. So I don't know. Sorry, I just got in. Can someone tell me what whiskey he has? So I have it's the Spey River 28 year, 45.3%. Yeah, I'm liking this one. I'm gonna put this to the side because I have a what do you call it? An agenda. I have a pace to keep. I want to try to do one whiskey every 10 minutes, and it's already 14 minutes in. So let's go on to our next one here. Boom. What are you? Actually, no, I didn't drink this last time. This is Ramper Vintage Cask, 43%. So that sounds pretty good. I know that we went over this last time. I believe this is a Indian whiskey. So let's go ahead and pour this little bad boy out. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, about empty. Had a gin. All right. So I have an idea for all of you. I love doing these live streams. I really do. I actually look forward to them now. I know I stopped for a long time, and a lot of it was just this wasn't kind of what I wanted to do with the channel. You know, I've always struggled with the idea of being the informative channel of the Whiskey Dictionary and kind of being a little goofy on a live stream and just chatting with you guys and making it about the hang, making this a fun place to just hang out and drink. And I love that. Especially just, during these times where it's a little harder to get out and drink with your buddies. This is great. I'm drinking with my buddies, like you guys I talk to all of you, or a lot of you, all the time. So anyway, where was I going with? Oh yeah. So one thing I wanted to do kind of like a, we all go out and buy the same bottle type of stream. Or, hopefully you might have one around or something like that. So what I'd like to do, and I'm going to probably review this whiskey pretty soon. I just went out and bought the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof. Now, I've never had a problem finding this whiskey, but I'm curious, just from your perspective, is this something that you guys are able to find reliably? Now, I will say that I think it was like $50. So I don't know if that kind of prices some of you out of it, and that's fine. Maybe you could pick up one of the other Jack Daniel's special, or not special, but like the better versions, like just the regular Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. But I think it would be really fun to do a stream where we all actually have the same whiskey, and then you guys can share your notes in the chat, and I'll share my notes while I'm talking. And maybe we'll even make it like a slightly not shorter. Sorry, there's like some gunk in here. Maybe I could have a couple of you guys actually join me on the stream. We could drink together. I think it'd be fun. So, ooh, what proof is mine? It's super high. Holy crap! It is 66.75, which is 133.5 proof. That's insane. I'm pretty sure that's my highest proof whiskey. I'm always nervous about this shelf. Like it's in the wall. It's in a stud, but I'm always a little worried because I think it only holds like 20 pounds. And I don't think that that's 20 pounds, but it's probably pretty close. All right, so let's see. Are people into this idea? Let's see. Richie. All right, I don't want to spend too much time going through the chat, but I'm going to assume that everybody's on board for this because I think it'd be a fun idea. That smells pretty cool. It's got like this spiciness to it, not a rye spice though. It's almost like a cooking, like a cumin or something like that. Smells pretty good. It smells like, it's got to be, I don't know. It smells pretty good. It smells like what is that? Clove, maybe? I often say cumin and I mean clove. I don't know why I mix those two up. Do you guys ever... Thanks, brother. I'm awesome. Jeez. Thank you, brother. You're awesome. So, do you guys ever just go to your spice cabinet and smell spices to try to see if it's something that you can pick up in your whiskey? Because I definitely do. White pepper. I've realized that there's actually a difference in smell between white pepper and black pepper. And it's not... I don't think white pepper's ever something I've pointed out on the channel about something I've smelled, but either way. Yeah, I picked the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof only because it's super high ABV and I just got it, and I know quite a few of you guys already have the bottle, and I thought it would just be a place to start. If maybe we could make it a thing. Every couple months or so I do basically a YouTube hangout where we all drink the same thing and we all go out and we buy whatever it is. And, maybe every now and then I'll buy one for you guys or something like that. We could have some fun with it. So I'm a single man. I don't own a spice cabinet. Oh, come on, DH Silv. I was a single man and I had spices, but I've always liked cooking. So I don't know. I've always liked smelling stuff. All right, let's go ahead and try a sip of this. So cheers, guys. That has some layers to it. That's really cool. Ooh, I like that one. You know what that is, though? I feel like this would be a hard bottle to go through, but this is a fun drink to share with people, I think. Because this is unlike something else that I've tasted before. Non-chill filtered single malt. Okay. Nice. Yeah. This is really good. I love that you guys are into this idea. Depends where the smell. You know what though, Mike? There are times where I've smelled a whiskey and I've thought that smells like dirty feet. You know, so going to the gym every now and then, not as much as I probably should, but it's putting on the pounds, little COVID-19 pounds. Mm. So I woke up this morning and I was a hurting. Hey, Juliet, thank you very much. Cheers to you. You're getting the next cheers. So Juliet Miranda has her own channel as well. By all means, Juliet, feel free to post it in the chat. If people don't know about it, then go check it out. She's very entertaining. She's got a lot of fun stories. Her live streams are more like her just kind of sitting back in a chair and she's telling stories about stuff. And it's generally pretty entertaining, actually. So she also, she does videos, but like her live streams are more where she actually. Do you do videos, Juliet? I don't know that I've seen a video from you in a while. I could be wrong. There's so many whiskey channels at this point, but I know you do your live streams. So Indian whiskeys are a rare breed. There's not a ton of them, so it's something that you could actually really explore pretty quickly. Off the top of my head, I can think of probably like 3 or 4 brands that are even over in the US, and each one of them probably has 3 or 4 expressions. So you're not looking at a ton, maybe less than 20 different expressions that you could have. Not that that's not still like $1,000, but you could pick and choose. I think I've only covered a couple of them on my channel before. I did the Paul. Wait, what is it? Paul John. I always remember because it's the opposite of John Paul. So Paul John Brilliance I did. And then, what was the other one? I did Amroot Fusion. That was a good one, actually. They were both pretty good. I should do more Indian whiskeys because I know I have a lot of fans in India. And they would probably like me to do that, but either way. Shout out to Steve A for being, the chat god that he is, Discord god. Helping pretty much all of us out. He's a mod on all of our channels, so he is a jack of, no, I shouldn't say jack of all trades. He's really only got a couple of trades, but he does them very well. So yes, there are 20 Amroots, or I'm taking your word for it. I know there's a lot of them, but most of them don't show up often over here, or at least in my area. If I were to go to the store and buy an Amroot right now, I'd probably have 3 choices. So probably they're peated, the Fusion, and then something else. I can't remember which one at the moment. So, hey, Wheels, welcome. Shi Flung Dung, welcome. Caleb, you got your cairn cleaner. Awesome. Promptly confiscated by the wife. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I've got another one of those to give away. I'm not giving one away tonight, but I will probably do one pretty soon. I've got a couple of things to do. I know I told you guys this before. I have a bamboo kind of drying rack, which I haven't decided whether I want to keep or not yet. So we'll see if I give that one away. I very well might. One last thing before I go into my next pour. How are you guys doing on your 2020 whiskey challenge? Don't forget that that's a thing. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to thewhiskydictionary.com and click on at the top the 2020 whiskey challenge. The idea is to just drink. That's it. Just drink stuff that you haven't tried before, and keep track of it. And there's a contest at the end of the year and all this stuff. So you could win some cash towards a bottle. So check it out. Definitely. All right, let's go into the next drink here. All right. So, what do you think, Juliet? What kind of whiskey should I pick next? What are you hoping I'm gonna grab here? We'll do the same mark. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have another sip and give her a chance to answer. So do you think I'm gonna pick a bourbon? Do you think I'm gonna pick a Scotch? Do you think I'm gonna pick something else? Japanese? There's basically everything is on here. Rest of you in the chat, feel free to answer. Take a guess too. It's fun to guess. Sorry, I don't have a channel, Juliet Miranda. That's spice rack, bamboo rack. I see a pattern. Yes, all about the rack. It's going well. I need to take a lot more pictures and post. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. It's been fun watching you guys submit your entries essentially into the Discord channel. The Whiskey Dick, is that what the 2020 challenge on Discord is about? I wasn't sure what that was. Oh man, how you missed out on that one, man. All right, I think I might need to pin something to that channel just so people coming in will know what the heck that's about. All right, pick something exotic. All right. Oh, that's not exotic. I'm gonna put that back. All right, I'm gonna give it one more chance. I know I don't often do that, but breaking my own rule here. Try to pick something exotic. That was Blood Oath Pact 4, and I've actually had that on the stream before. That's part of the reason. Well, it's not exotic. It's Canadian. If you're into exotic women and Canadian is as far as you're willing to go, I have bad news for you. All right, so 40 Creek LE Unity 2018, 43%. Another Matthew Zitrick. So the announcement is already pinned there. Okay, well then he just needs to look a little harder. I'm gonna do a half a pour here because I want to keep this one on the wheel. Put that back over here. Bill, why not have Juliet on the live if she can? That would be fantastic. Of course, she's absolutely willing to. I mean, willing. She's absolutely welcome on the stream. I think I talked about this last week. I'm gonna reiterate. Just I'll keep this quick. I would like to have kind of an official schedule to my live streams to keep things interesting. You know, like 1 week is the wheel. People love the wheel. I love the wheel. Another week would be like a blind tasting where I do something similar to what I did with the Heaven Hill products. Another week would be some sort of distillery style guest. And then another week would be whiskey tubers and just do a freaking party. So there will be plenty of time for that. And then, of course, me joining whoever else's random streams anytime is always fun. Especially now that I have this little studio down here, I can pretty much make it happen anytime. So, all right. So Whiskey Crusader's saying that one's great, which is wonderful to hear because 40 Creek is okay. Actually, I don't really have a complaint about 40 Creek except that I'm going to quote my guest from last week, Nick Taylor. Canadian whiskey just has that flavor or that taste. 40 Creek is all about that taste. So oftentimes when I saw 40 Creek, I was a little bit just, but Matt likes this one. It's probably pretty good. Oh, that's interesting. I'm trying to, let me have a little bit of water actually. I'm trying to see if, hold on. One of those challenges of doing a live stream where the intent is to drink. Natural breaks. All right, so when I smelled this the first time, I got a little bit of carryover from the Rampur. So yeah, okay, it's a little different. There was something. I mean, not that the water should have helped, but somehow it did. Would I send you shitty whiskey? No, probably not. Although I'd still probably drink it. I've had many threats from many people to send me bottles of Johnny Walker Red. And I actually do not have a bottle. I don't have a single bottle of that in my house at the moment. Not even a tiny one. Not saying I want it. Just saying that I've finally done with the beast. Although I should buy one, put it up on that shelf, and just leave it there for everybody who knows. Just check out the chat here. I'm Canadian and have never come across a woman like that. Nice. All right, so the nose on this is mostly unimpressive. It's got kind of like a caramel style kind of nose to it, but it's more like a mapley caramel. It's thick. But anyway, all right. Cheers, guys. Okay, Matt, you're right. That's actually very good. This might have just shot up there with lot 40 cast strength. Or cast... Is it cast strength? Yeah, lot 40 cast strength. Yeah, that's pretty good. So a couple of you guys mentioned this thing right here. And I know I've talked about it a little bit before, at least what my plans are. Pins from distilleries are going to go up there. But I've decided that because I'm the way I am, I'm going to do different areas for different styles. So like these two are Canadian. This one right here is Australian. This is barrel bourbon or barrel whiskey. So these two will probably be bourbons. And then maybe I'll do scotches or something like that. I'm going to try to fit pins of a single type in each one of those squares. I also have a couple of, I think 3 extra squares. So if it ever needs to get bigger, it can. Million bottle Matt. So how do people send you whiskey? Always wondered. So Caleb, reach out to me via email, thewhiskeydick@gmail.com. If anybody wants to send whiskey samples for the wheel, we can talk for sure. I know I have one coming over from Australia at the moment, and then I got another guy who I was talking to earlier today who's it's awesome. You know, like I love when people are generous like this, but he started off just being like, "Hey, I'm going to send you a sample of this whiskey that you've never heard of." Cool. And next thing I know, I think he's going to send me like 5 or 6 samples now. So it's awesome. And one of those is the Ardbeg Black Committee release, which I am very excited to try. So, you know, I actually really want to get some Jephthah. Jephthah is similar, according to Jason from the Mash and Drum, Jephthah is one of those things where even though you might have a morbid curiosity, you should still not do it. And it reminds me of Avatar, the Last Airbender movie. For anybody who may have seen that atrocious thing, just absolutely terrible. I remember walking out of the theater and I was so disappointed. And I remember talking to some friends. They were like, "Hey, how was the movie?" I said, "Don't let your curiosity get the better of you. This one is just so bad, it's not even worth watching to see how bad it is." So it was such a disappointment. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, so Black, I wish I'd liked it. Oh, DH Silv, you didn't like it? You could send me your bottle if you'd like. I'll take it. All right, so I had an interesting visitor in my house last weekend. Some of you on Instagram may have seen it. I had a bat in my house. It was in my basement, and it was right there, about maybe 10 feet away from where I'm sitting right now. And it's about 10 feet. I didn't notice it until I was about halfway done filming last Sunday's episode. And I think I posted something in the Discord. I gave a timestamp or something like that. There is a point where I'm talking, and I was saying whatever I was saying. I think I was talking about tasting notes, right? And so I was saying something. I'm like, all right, so you know, if you're gonna smell a whiskey, you want to like nose it and try to keep your mouth open. And right then is when I noticed it. And if you watch the video, I think it's around the 8 minute and 49 seconds, I want to say, or 8 minutes 40 second mark, you'll see me go like this and then right back into it. And I didn't miss a beat, but it is very visually obvious if you go back and watch that episode. It's pretty funny. When I was editing it, I rewatched that a bunch of times because I thought it was pretty hilarious. How many of my bottles? All of them? I'll pay you $2 a piece. I did not get bit. I got the Rona. So the bat's hanging out there, and I said to myself, I'm like, all right, catching a bat and getting it out of the house is an involved event. So I need to finish filming. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move all my equipment. My lighting is going to be messed up. It's not going to look continuous, whatever. So these are the things I care about, right? So I just finished filming probably for another like 20 minutes while the bat was just hanging up there. And he was taking a nap with all these studio lights on, too. I'm a little surprised that he was able to sleep, but whatever. Every now and then he would wake up and he would spread his wings like, you know, super far, and he would crawl around on it's all cement over there. You guys can't really see, but this cement right there. And, it was just crawling around. And I mean, I'm a man, but you don't want a bat crawling around 10 feet from your head. That's not fun. And it's a little distracting. Anyway, so I eventually finished filming, and then I actually showed the bat to both my kids, and I was like, "Hey, you girls want to see something cool?" And they were both, you know, scared, but they did it. It was good. And then I caught it, and I threw it outside, and I caught it in a box. I threw it outside, and then it was all fine. But there was a moment, and I was almost not going to share this, but why wouldn't I? Because it was hilarious, and I don't care. It's human nature. There was a moment where I had this box, and let's say this is the bat. So he's hanging on the wall. He's like that, right? So I had a box, and I just kind of creep. And then he's like, "What are you doing?" Right? And I'm just, "No!" Right? So I caught it in the box, and now I've just got this thing against the wall in the box, and he's making that echo sound. He's like, right, just crazy fast. He was flipping out, and I could feel him like jumping around, just banging against the sides of the box. And I'm like, crap, I forgot to bring another piece of cardboard with me to slide underneath here so I could actually trap him in there. So I realized that I was going to have to let him out because there was just no way I could go get something. I sent both kids upstairs. My wife was in the kitchen. And even if I was like, hey, come down here, bring me some, they wouldn't have even heard me. So I dropped the box and I ran out of the room, but this thing was fast. Before the box even hit the ground, he was out of the box and he flew right at me and crashed into my leg and then fell to the ground. And I was just, I made a very manly noise. I can't say it was a scream because it wasn't. It was much more low and guttural. It was more like, or so it was, I was happy nobody really heard that at the moment because it would have been embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing now. I ran upstairs, I got some cardboard, came down here, ultimately caught him and threw him outside. So yeah, pretty fun thing. But little crazy. I'm wondering how they're getting in because it's the second bat that I've had in the house. And I think that they're in the attic, and I think that they kind of come down the walls. But anyway, this is a live stream about whiskey. But that was my adventure for last weekend. So I had some really good feedback on the live stream from last week with Nick Taylor. Seems you guys really like him, and I'm psyched to hear that because I really like Nick. I would have Nick on all the time, and I intend on having him on again. And something that it sounds like revisionist history to me. So yeah, a little bit. The story definitely went a lot faster than me catching the bat. There was a lot more hesitance of than jumping on him. But anyway, so Nick Taylor was awesome. He was a great guest last week. I would love to have him on again. He already told me that he can't wait to come on. But what I think I'm going to do next time, so there's a couple of different brands he covers. He does Old Pulteney. He does, what's the one I did last week? Jeez, the Cutter. What the heck is it called? A Knock. He does a Knock, and he does Ball Blair. And there's probably a couple of other ones that he has like a smaller handle into, or hand in. And so we'll do Ball Blair at some point, because I know nothing about Ball Blair, and it'd be really fun to listen to him talk. But I think I'm going to have him on, and I think what I'm going to do is have you guys pose crazy questions to him, because he's a super smart guy. He's way smarter than I am as far as whiskey goes, and he knows his stuff really well. But I also don't want to blindside my guest on the stream, because that's no fun either. You don't want to look dumb. But I think it'd be really cool. I think giving you guys a forum to ask whatever kind of crazy questions you'd like to, and then I'll give them to him maybe a little ahead of time so he can think about them. But it'd be fun to actually hear his responses to questions that you guys are genuinely interested in. So I'll set that up. I'll make a post on YouTube. That way you can all kind of see it. And I'll put a Google form together or something like that. So I'm talking about the scream versus guttural being revisions. Yeah, no, I mean, the joke is there, Steve, for sure. But I genuinely didn't scream, and I almost wish I did, because the noise I made, what I just recreated was not the noise I made. I can't make it again. I have to have a bat flying into my leg. I wish I almost had it on tape just so I could show you. Tape on video. All right, so there's a couple of other things I still want to do on this stream, and I'm getting way off topic here, and I don't want to go late necessarily. All right, people like this idea. Perfect. Matt, this is a really good whiskey. 40 Creek Unity, you said? I'm going to guess this is probably expensive because it's got a specific date on it and probably very hard to find. So if you can find it, it's worth it. I'm going to kick this one back. The thing I love about this style of live stream is when I'm done, now that I've got this studio in the basement, I don't really have to break down my gear so much. I just kind of leave it. And, I might record an episode or something tomorrow, so I'll just leave all the stuff here. And I'll go upstairs with 2 or 3 glasses of whiskey and just chill and drink my whiskey. And it's wonderful. All right. So how are Ball Blair sales since they raised their prices would be a good... yeah, exactly. So keep these things in your mind. So Lane Johnston has an interesting point that I have some feedback on, kind of. So He says that he picked up a Compass Box Myths and Legends 1. It's a single malt from Ball Blair. It's so good. So I had an opportunity to try all 3 of the Myths and Legends, once again at Julio's Liquors, and I was in their basement, and the woman who came up, or she helped to pick out what was going to be blended to make these 3. It was kind of her deal. She was there talking about it. It was fun because she was passionate about it. She's like talking about all this nerd stuff, and we all loved it. And excuse me, I will say that of the 3, my favorites were 1 and 3. And 2 was, I felt, was less, but they were all Compass Box. They were all very good. But 1 and 3 were definitely my favorites, and I believe 1 was actually my favorite. So, hey, Cool Running. Nice to see you. Yes, a very limited release. Mirage got for me since it was in the Whiskey Advocate top 20. Cool. Yeah. It's $80. Okay. That's actually, I agree. I think that's appropriately priced. It's probably a little high, but if I paid $80 and I took a sip of that, I would not feel like I got ripped off. So awesome. I could totally have Ryan from Julio's Liquors on. I think he would love to come on the stream. The one thing about Ryan is I will barely get a word in. Ryan loves to talk, and he's got good stories. He's actually got very good stories. But yeah, you know what? Actually, I will totally reach out to Ryan. He's a very interesting guy, and he's like 3rd or 4th generation owning a liquor store, and a big liquor store. So he's got some cool stories. I will actually totally reach out to him. He does a lot of stuff on Instagram, and he does technically have a YouTube channel, but it doesn't really do much on it. I'll talk to him. I'll see if I can set something up. That's a great idea. All right, let's go ahead and pick the next one, and then I have a fun thing I want to do with you guys. All right, so what is this one? Looks like edition 4. So McKellen, I'm guessing it says ED4 4. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the bottom was like 49 or something, but it just says ED4 4. So I'm gonna guess this is McKellen. Let's see. All right, pour this bad boy. The history teacher in me is really looking at that Glenfiddich age of exploration. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. If I said it wasn't the box making me want it. Yeah, that's tough, man. I fall victim to marketing so hard, which is funny because I know enough marketers. I spend time with marketers. I know enough about like user experience design to know why I'm attracted to the things that I am. And I also am introspective enough to know which things make me want to buy them, like the Kilhoman range, right? The fact that they're all these different colors, I want to have them all. Same thing with Johnny Walker. All the colors, I want to have them all. And I'm the same way with all. That's my thing. If it's got a number on it, or if it's got a color scheme, that's my way to want these things. So like the McKellen edition, 1 through I think they're on 6 now. I'm not gonna go get them all, but that was only because I would have started buying them around 4 or 3, and I would never have been able to get 1 or 2. So interesting, but that's the kind of tape I used. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, this totally could be from you, Steve. Let's see. Why would I have had 4 on there twice, though? Yeah, exactly, Steve. And I will say that this is... I have a couple of people who they use the blue painter's tape. And, Steve, did you send me the Stag Junior? Because whoever sent me the Stag Junior, which I think was you, is the one that sent this. Exactly, yeah, we're completionists, man. I'm totally with you. All right, let's see. $150. I never spent more, but got more expensive bottles as gifts. Once the price goes over $100, I do put a lot more considerations in the purchase. Yeah, 100%. I have the hardest time recommending bottles that are over $100 when I do my my episodes, even if it's like the best whiskey I've had in a while, or from a genre or whatever you want to call it, like Yellow Spot, right? So Spot Whiskey's Yellow Spot is $110, or it could be 83, depending on where you find it. So Steve, yes, this is definitely you. I usually recommend that one to people, but I also am like, if you're gonna pay $110 for it, you might be better off just getting a couple bottles of something else that you're gonna really enjoy, because at some point volume does matter. It does kind of offset how good something can be. But that's the hard part about recommending a whiskey. I try to give you guys facts about why I like it. That way you can decide if that makes sense to you, rather than just saying, this is an 84, or this is a 92, you should go get this. I'm like, hey, it tastes like this, it smells like this, it makes me feel good, it tastes good, I like it. That's my general attitude towards recommendations. All right, so I'm trying to think if I've ever had any of the Edition Macallans, and I don't think I have. Well, let me see, Steve, because you say that you have the 3 and the 4. Did you send me a bottle of the 3? Because if you did, then it's not on here, and that means I've had Macallan Edition number before. $300 is your upper range, Donald. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever spent that much on a bottle of whiskey. The only whiskeys I've had that were that expensive were gifted to me in one way or another. I have to believe that the law of diminishing returns comes in somewhere. Totally, Caleb. You know, like a bottle like the Signet, right? I think the Signet is the highest priced whiskey that I've had where I would pretty much like bully somebody into buying. You know? Like if somebody told me that they were really hemming and hawing over the money, if they were like, oh, if it was like $20 cheaper, I'd just hand them a 20 and just be like, go buy it. So it's really, I love that whiskey. Okay, I mean, as you see, Steve, luck of the draw here. I have a lot of these samples for a long time. All right, I've been smelling this like 17 times over, so it smells good. I'm not really getting much in the way of specifics. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna drink it. Cheers. What's the ABV on this, Steve? I'm gonna guess it's 46. That's what I'm gonna guess. Because I often think things are higher than they are, so I went down a little bit. If it's 43, I'm gonna kick myself because that was my first thought. But I think it's a little hotter than that, so I'm gonna go 46. I've gone past 300 a couple times. So what'd you buy, Jason, for over 300? You know what, Mark? For your 50th birthday, you should definitely get an expensive bottle. You know what you should also consider doing is there's a whiskey called The Last Drop. It's a 50-year-old whiskey. It's fairly attainable from a website, you know, like one of the ones that'll send you like one of these guys. Drinks by the Dram used to do it, but I don't think that they sell here anymore. 48.4, and I said what, 46? Okay, so I was off, but not bad. Yeah, dude, I totally rearranged the way I have the wheel set up. Jeez. Every single time that I set up this wheel, I have to put all of these on here. I have no idea what order these are, other than that I counted out 50 of them. Okay, so they're all 48. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, 48-point edition. Oh, geez, that's ridiculous. Black Prince. I don't know. All right, so what I wanted to do with you guys, I had a fun idea. I'm going to switch screens a little bit here. So I found this page, 25 whiskeys you need to try before you die. And I wanted to talk about this because there was a few in here. I can't, well, actually, I could totally see your chat. Nope. Crap, I shouldn't have done anything. I'll just put that back. I won't be able to see the chat while I'm doing this, but I kind of wanted to go through this and just look, like, this is obviously the clickbaity kind of title, right? This is on, I found this on, like, uswhiskeynews.com, and I just wanted to know, I actually did not look through this list before this, other than the first two, just to kind of get a feel for what the concept was. So I'm curious what's on here, and I thought this would be kind of a fun activity to do together. So one of the idea here is obviously, like, you have to have these whiskeys because they're good enough, and they really didn't take price into account at all. They just were more like, save for the whiskey, do whatever you want. But I'm curious what you guys think. So it starts off with Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, and just talking, you know, about the different releases that they do every year. And I like it. You know, those are harder to get, but they're attainable, and they're generally good. So good call. Next was Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. And the first thing that they say is laugh all you want. And I'm glad that they took that approach with it, because I immediately was like, no. I'm going to ignore the fact for a minute that it's not technically whiskey and take it at face value. Trying Fireball was an experience, and I'm not gonna discredit the whole list just because of this one suggestion, but I'm a little perturbed that they put a non-whiskey on here, but whatever. Let's move along. So Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey is another one. I also like that they didn't really put them in an order, not like this is number 1, this is number 2. They just listed out 25 of them. Weller 12, totally fine. So far I'm noticing a trend. 2 out of the 3 here are harder to get, depending on where you live. Weller 12, I have only tried that as a sample before, and it was good, but I get why they would put that on here. It's only $20, although good luck finding it at that. Wow, they're saying it goes for $200 on the secondary market sometimes. Jeez, that's crazy. All right, so then it has Booker's, which totally. Sorry, I had to burp. Even though Booker's and I have had a falling out a little bit, a lot of that has to do with the increase in price. Actually, almost all of that has to do with the increase in price. That, and I felt a little burned by the 2019-01. And other people started doing Booker's, and I just was never the first one to review it anymore, and that kind of was what I liked about it. So I fell out of love with Booker's, but I would be lying if I said every time I drink it, I'm not happy. I enjoy Booker's a lot, and I really should probably just get back into it, even though it's expensive. It's tough because there's other good whiskeys to try, and there's other yearly releases. The Larceny, the Elijah Craig, they do their multiple releases a year, and those are especially the Elijah Craig. I prefer those. Do I prefer those over Booker's? I don't know. That's a tough question. Question for another time. All right, let's go next. Four Roses 2017 limited edition 50th anniversary small batch. Okay. That's awful specific. Tribute to... Yeah, good luck finding that. All right, let's move along. Hibiki 21. Now, what is this? $900. Here's my take on Hibiki. I've only had the 17. Is that true? Is there a 13 Hibiki? I won't be able to see your answer, but I believe that there's a slightly younger Hibiki under 17, and I'm pretty sure I've had that too. I could be totally full of shit. I probably shouldn't swear. I could be totally full of it, but I'm pretty sure I've had a younger Hibiki than 17. Either way, I have not had the 21, and I would imagine it's probably pretty fantastic, but my general attitude towards Japanese whiskey, and I've said this before, is they pick one thing and they do it really well. But you're very rarely going to find a complex whiskey out of Japan that is really, really good. You'll occasionally find things like this guy, which I'll get into this later, but ignore the fact that this is kind of technically not a Japanese whiskey. But this is the Matsui single malt Japanese whiskey in Mizunara casks. So that's what they've been doing a lot with their Japanese whiskeys lately, and I suspect that's because limited supply, so they're taking younger stuff and throwing it in more interesting barrels, which is a fair way to do it. I mean, I get it. You got to keep your business going. Anyway, so Hibiki is fine if you like pears. I have not tried the 21, so I can't speak to it. Wild Turkey 101. Hell yeah, man. If you haven't tried a Wild Turkey 101 for the price and for the goodness of it, you're missing out. Just go buy one. Lagavulin 16, also another very good choice. Completely agree there. That's a good one. Red Spot Irish Whiskey. I don't know what else is on this list. I don't know if there'll be any other spot whiskeys. I doubt it. I would probably pick the yellow over the red. I would probably pick the green over the red, but that would be a little harder. But I definitely think I would have picked the yellow. Bullet Straight Rye. I'm going to reserve my opinion on this one until I see what other ryes they might have. But would not be my choice. The Bullet Rye is fine because it's high rye. It's like really high rye. If I remember correctly, it's either 90 or 99. I think it's 90% rye. And it's not bad at all. It's really not. I actually remember being pretty impressed by it. Fun fact, I've said this on a stream before as well, so this will be old news for some of you, but when I recorded my bullet episodes, which are episodes like 6, 7, and 8, I did bullet bourbon, bullet rye, and bullet 10-year all in the same night. And the bullet rye was the third episode I did. And this is back before I learned the lesson, which any of you new whiskey tubers learn this lesson. If you intend on being a perfectionist like myself, who takes crazy amount of takes for every video that you do, don't drink as part of the first part of the episode. Because you're going to start talking, a minute later you're going to start drinking, you're going to flub a line 2 minutes down the line, and then you're going to start over, and you're going to get drunk, and it's going to be stupid. And that is what the Bullet Rye episode is, and I believe it's about 3.5 minutes long, pretty much culminated in me saying, I like this, it's pretty good, and then logging off. So I should probably go back and revisit this someday. But the Bullet Rye is not a bad rye. I just kind of hope that they have a better rye on here. Henry McKenna Single Barrel. I have not had the single barrel version. I've never heard a bad thing about Henry McKenna, so I'll give that to them. I would guess that's probably pretty good. Maker's Mark. That's a good one. Because I agree that a lot of people are going to have Maker's Mark. It's a cool bottle. It's a cool concept. Stands out on a shelf. Most people are going to have it. I'm going to take a quarter second here. And so Maker's Mark has changed over time. Not the whiskey, blah, blah, blah. It tastes expensive and is. No. It has that as a tagline? I didn't know that. Makers, despite being bought and sold by mega million corporations, blah, blah, blah. The bourbon is still wheated and still carries a higher than normal barley percentage. Through decades of growing and becoming one of the most sold whiskeys in the world, they've even preserved the hand-dipped wax bottling practice. Though made in absolutely monstrous quantity today, it is as well crafted as whiskey can be. So I disagree with some of that. I would say that I'm kind of in the minority among whiskey tubers in that I do like Maker's Mark. I think it's fine. A lot of people, either, I don't know, for controversy or truly their taste, don't like Maker's Mark. And it's not something I go out of my way to buy. I don't currently have a bottle of it in any fashion here, although I should review the cask strength at some point. I think it totally has a place, but I don't think it has a place on this list. I don't think this is one that that you have to drink before you die. I think there's way better choices. I think it's more that you probably will drink it before you die because it's at every bar. High West Rendezvous Rye. Disagree. All right, moving along. Jack Daniel's Old Number 7. Sure, but I don't think it belongs on this list either. It's not something that you have to drink before you die. It's something that you're going to drink because somebody brought it to a college party and you're all getting hammered. Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Now, this is one I have not actually gotten to try yet, but I have to agree that this one's probably on here for a good reason, based off everything I know about it. Jameson Irish Whiskey. Disagree again for the same reasons I said about the other ones. It doesn't deserve to be on this kind of list. Blanton's, sure, fine, I'll give it to them. Yeah, there's better whiskeys out there than Blanton's, but that's a fun one because it's a cool bottle. It's got the horse on it. It's got all kinds of stuff. That is a marketer's dream, is that whiskey. And it's pretty good. So, yeah, all right, fine. You belong on the list. Angel's Envy Cask Strength First Edition 2012. Sure. Absolutely. Angel's Envy is fantastic juice. Cask Strength would probably be fantastic as well. I don't think I've had it. And I'm not sure. Do they? I won't be able to see the answer to this, but I'm curious if they make a Cask Strength routinely or if it's a special edition. That says $2,000 though, but that's also the 2012 edition, which is probably more of a collector's item than anything. Old Granddad 114. Again, sure. Probably has more of a place on this list than some of the other ones because it's, even though Old Granddad is a very well-known name, it's not one that people probably just buy because they know it, like Jack Daniels or Jameson. I would say it's just unpopular enough to not be known by the masses. Or not be sought after from the masses. Steve, that McKellen 4, very good. I liked it. Thank you for sending that. Hakushu 12. Haven't had it. If Icarus were a bottle of booze, he'd be the Hakushu 12. Once a $50 bottle you could find in most decent liquor stores. It's now discontinued product that sells for nearly 3 times that price. Okay, whatever. I don't know anything about it. I can't comment. Lefroy Cask Strength. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one belongs on the list for sure. I loved this whiskey. I tore through this whiskey. I I spent a good portion of a weekend drunk off this whiskey. It was a very good time. Johnny Walker Blue Label, fine, I'll give it to him. Yeah, you just should. You just should. You know, it's the kind of thing where you're gonna get it as a gift, maybe, or you're gonna buy it for yourself as a gift. Yes, there's better whiskeys. There's considerably better whiskeys for cheaper, but that's fair. It's just an iconic bottle, totally. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. I would choose this over the... No, would I choose this over the Bullet Rye? Because they're different, though. This is a lower rye count, or at least, if I remember correctly, it tasted of a lower rye count. And, yeah, man, I don't know. This is a good one, but I don't know that it should make on this list. Yeah, man, I don't know. That's not... I don't know. I don't agree. All right, so Nika from the Barrel. So this was my whiskey of the year a couple years ago. No, sorry, this wasn't whiskey. This was my 100th episode that I chose. And I've always thought, again, marketing is a thing, you know, and it's made to look like this by people who are smart and smarter in marketing than I am. But this always struck me as a bottle that I didn't want to buy because it just kind of looked awful and cheap. And if that's keeping the price of it down to about the $50 that it costs, now it looks like it's about $60, then fine. Keep it in the friggin' little tin twist-off cap and the awful-looking bottle. But I don't know. Is this one that you have to have before you die? I don't think so. It's good, but I don't think so. I think if I'm really talking at that kind of level, I'm saving up for like a Yamazaki 12 or an 18 even. Yeah. All right, Peppy Van Winkle, fine. 23? Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I had the 20 recently, and that thing was just oak. It was oak all day. It was very good. It really was. It was very good, but it was oaky. I mean, a 20-year-old bourbon's going to be, so... All right, let's see. Oh, is that the end of the list? Oh, that's so sad. All right. Well, either way, I had another article here, but I think I'm going to go back in here and come back. So that was kind of fun. I like doing that. I think I'm going to do that again. Find some sort of interesting concept and talk about it. So what time is it? All right, so it's 10 o'clock. Are there other... I think there's another whiskey tuber who comes on at this time. Let me double check. I don't want to step on people's toes, but I also kind of don't really want to stop. Is it Bourbon Bites? Has he started going tonight? Let's see. Okay. No, I mean nobody's going, so I'm gonna keep going for a few minutes. I want to drink at least one more. How hard is it to get a pour of at a bar of Pappy 23? You could probably find it. I would guess. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'm kind of looking. I obviously missed all of that chat. All right, I'm gonna pour one more and then I'll call it quits. So I'm gonna go for about right here. See, no, this is not fair because these bottles are too big. They're like just kind of the ones. All right, Bourbon Blind's coming up in 27 minutes, so I've got a little time. I'm gonna pick this guy. What are you? The one that I just picked is one I drank on the last time I did a wheel. It was the white dog here. Where is it? It was the Cedar Ridge White Rye. So, I mean, I drank that last time. I'd rather wait a little bit. All right, so ADHD. All right, so anyway, this is Glen Grant 18 year. Hell yeah. I'm excited to end on this one. This is a good one. I haven't had the 18 year, but I like Glen Grant. So let's pour. I'll go half. I always pour a little bit more than half, which next time I pick these, I'm going to be annoyed at myself. Be like, damn it, Bill. Leave me some better whiskey. Yeah, you're right. There was no Macallan, actually. Hey, James, thank you very much. Appreciate that. You know, I've heard that people who do Super Chats have better luck at whiskey lotteries. So, you know, that's a fact. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the movie Anchorman. I have not watched that movie in a while, and boy, is that a quotable movie. I should watch that. Maybe I'll watch that tonight after I finish streaming. Just throw it on. All right. $12.50, assuming you get about 25 1-ounce pours. That's $50 a pour. Yeah, but you know that would get you the price of the bottle, Caleb, which I'm sure that a bar does not pay $12.50 for that bottle. I'm gonna guess, based off of anecdotes, that a 23 would probably cost about $100 to $120 a pour if you were to find it at a bar. But it obviously depends. Iowa Legendary Rye White Rye. Yeah, exactly. Yep. You're right. It was Iowa Legendary. Sorry, it wasn't Cedar Ridge. All right. Red Spot on that list. Nope. Green Spot wine finishers are. You know what? Yeah, good call, Donald. I haven't even had them, but absolutely, I have to think that one of those wine cask finishes is a better Green Spot than the Red Spot. I love Scotch. Scotchy, Scotch, Scotch. Here it goes down into my belly. Yeah, they pay. Yeah, I'm sure that they pay $300 a bottle because they got to make a. That's where they make all their money. Even just retail on Pappy 23 is $300. Yeah. So Glen Grant, interesting. It's got this drying sensation towards the end of in the finish that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting this to be sweeter. You can try for $70 at Del Frisco. Okay, so maybe I'm a little off, but I'm thinking basically of the places I've gone to that I've seen lower end Pappies for, and what I like the Rip Van Winkle. The Van Winkle is like 70 at a place I went to, and so I have to think that the Pappies is going to be more. So I was just guessing 120, but I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, man. I'm just a guy who drinks whiskey on YouTube. Yeah, good stuff. So don't forget, next weekend, next Friday, I'm going to be doing a live stream with the master distiller at Balcones, as well as one of their marketing guys. And his name is Axel Elrod, which is just friggin' awesome. Sounds like a hardcore guy. I bet he's like skinny, but whatever. Axel, if you're watching this, if I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a thing with them. I have another one of those Google Forms because I want to do something different for Balcones. I don't want to be another guy just asking the same questions. I want to ask some questions that they haven't been asked, and not necessarily like gimmicky ones. Be like, what's your favorite type of pizza? You know, so, oh wow, I've never had a whiskey person ask me that before. You know, like I don't want that. I want to ask intelligent questions. I'm going to do some prep for this, but I need your help because you guys are definitely, a lot of you are equally as smart as I am as it comes to whiskey, if not more so. And I think that you can probably help me come up with some really good questions for this guy. He knows his stuff. I mean, he's a master distiller. Let's put him through his paces. Let's make sure that we are getting some cool info out of this guy. And if he doesn't answer, then maybe I'll push a little bit. But like we'll get some good answers out of him. You're just a legend who drinks whiskey on YouTube. Thank you very much, brother. Cheers to positivity. I like it. This is good. This one's good. I like this. Glen Grant 12. All right, 18. I find 18 years is a real good age for Scotch. Here's a question for you guys. Bourbons. What age do you think is your ideal age for a bourbon? And I realize that's a vague question with a lot of possible answers, but I want you to answer it. Answer it in whatever way you feel is appropriate. If you want to just throw out a number, or if you want to explain yourself, go for it. But I'm curious. What is your preferred age of a bourbon? If I had to choose one, I'd probably say around 7 or 8 years. Most of the whiskeys that I like from bourbons are not just 4 years. They're more, but too old, and you start getting very oaky, which sometimes I like, but not always. I like when you can still taste other stuff other than oak in my bourbons. But 12 years easy. Okay. 12 years. 8 to 10. Okay. 12 to 15. You guys all like old whiskeys, man. You're paying a lot for your bourbons. Yeah. 10 year, man. That's a good point, Steve. ECBP 12 year. Any other questions? Yeah. All right. Well, then same question. How about Scotch? What's your ideal range for Scotch? If I had to say, I'm gonna stick with my 18. I think that 18 is when Scotch really starts to get good. There's plenty of decent Scotches for 12 and 15 years, but I think 18 is when you really start kind of kicking it over that hump. I like 21-year-olds as well, but 18s are good out of context. 3 months. Nice. 15 to 18. Yep. The one you drank on a stream, Whiskey Crusaders, was the Black Label. Okay, no, 12 to 18. See, this is an interesting question, and I shouldn't be patting myself on the back, but I like this question because there's always the trade-off of price versus age. And I don't know about you guys. I'm not a millionaire. When I go to the store, I look, and I compare, and I think to myself, okay, do I really want to spend $80 on the Scotch when I could do this other Scotch for 60, and maybe that one's 18, maybe this one's 15. Like, which one am I going to pick? Price comes into it a lot for me, but I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with money, which thankfully the stock market, oh my God, thankfully it's back. My, all the money that I had lost with the start of COVID, I'm finally back over the hump again. I'm up like 1%, but I'm above. So thankfully, I hope all of you guys are having equal luck in the stock market. 15 to 18. Yeah, that seems to be the sweet spot here. Never had a Scotch over 12 years. Well, Tony, I think you should. So it's just that easy. I just tell you that you should. And hopefully you go out and buy something. I really do. Plenty of perfectly great 12-year-old Scotches. Yes, you're not wrong, James. But we're all people who appreciate whiskey, and we like to push ourselves a little bit. And although there are plenty of good 12-year-old ones, and age is not even remotely the only factor here, it's just an interesting question. I just opened my Red Label, and it's awesome. So much coconut. Your Red Label what? I might kick you off the stream, depending on your answer. I have a spreadsheet with prices for every store nearby. That's a good way to do it, Whiskey. Now, how do you keep that updated? All right, I don't know if you're programmer guy or girl. Do you sorry for guy, I know you're a girl. Are you a programmer, or do you just kind of keep it up to date? How do you keep those up to date? Do you go to the website? Do you update them yourself? Blah blah blah. How do you maintain that? Curious. Good young Scotch can be far more engaging than mediocre old stuff. Well, of course, man. Like, I'd rather read a 100-page book that was riveting than a 500-page book that's boring. It's the same idea. It just got into stocks. It's treating me well. Nice. Well, you picked a good time, Lane. Especially if you started a couple months ago, or if you started 3 months ago, probably a very bad time to get into stocks. I remember when I was just out of college. I want to say I was probably 22 or 23. I discovered the concept of penny stocks, and I realized that I could buy a crap ton of stock for virtually nothing, like a couple $100. I owned like 2,000, 3,000 of this penny stock, and I remember trying to tell my dad, who I'm sure on the phone was like, thank God he only wasted $200. But I remember trying to tell my dad, I was like, this stock is 0.00016 cents per share. And I bought 2,000 shares, or whatever it came out to. Maybe it might have actually been like 20,000 shares. And I was like, man, if this even goes up to a penny, I'm a rich man. And my dad was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. My dad is awesome, really. He's great. Very supportive guy. But he's the kind of guy that will definitely just give me enough rope to hang myself with, but he'll still cut the rope if I start dangling. So he's a good guy. Anyway, nothing ever happened with that stock. The stock went down. The company went under. Just never did anything with it, and I just lost my money. And I don't even know if I was able to sell them off, but it took a while before anybody even bought them from me. Like, it wasn't immediate, right? And yeah, so then my probably my worst stock story is SiriusXM. So SiriusXM, for a long time, these numbers are going to be kind of fudged because I don't remember specifics, but the point will be there and you'll understand. SiriusXM had some issues. I owned they were at about $2.50. Maybe call it $2.37. I think is correct, and they plummeted. This is around, call it 2008. They plummeted, and I was like, okay, this is very much a good service. People like SiriusXM. They're gonna bounce back. Let me buy some stocks. Try to hit it at the bottom. I believe I bought $2,000 worth of stocks at, was it maybe $500 worth of stocks at like 23 cents a stock. And I was like, this is perfect. It's going to go up to $1. I'm going to make like 10 grand or whatever it would have been, 5 grand, something like that. And I'll be great. I'll sell it. I'll get out, get in, get out. Perfect. So 23 cents a stock. It went up to, my math is definitely wrong here, but whatever. So 23 cents a stock. It went up to like 28 or 32 cents a stock. And essentially I had made like 2 grand. And I was like, this is perfect. I need a new computer. I'm going to sell. I'm just going to get out and I'll make $2,000 minus the $500 or so that was my buy-in. I'll make $1,500. That's enough to buy a computer. And I did. I sold it. And a week later, it went up to $1.25. And then like a month later, it was up like $3. And I remember working out the math. Like I said, my math was wrong, but I do remember working out the math. Had I held on to it, and you're never going to sell at the top, but I definitely could have been more patient. I would have made $47,000. So that is my awful stock story. And I don't believe I've done day trading ever since, actually. Yeah. Well, the good news is I did sell, I did get my money, and I did build a computer, and it was like a $1,500 computer, and it was was it a good machine. I still technically have it. It's actually sitting in my garage. I'm waiting for an opportunity to throw it away at some point and do one of those like electronics recycling things. But it's sitting there. It doesn't boot up. It does boot up, but I don't have an OS on it, or it's wiped. And it sucks at this point. I mean, I bought it over 10 years ago. So anyway, yeah, that one hurt. Yeah, trying to sell corn and soybeans. Yeah, are you a commodity trader, Tony? Yeah, like I said, it might have been 40K, it might have been 47. Somehow the math worked out. I just remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I could have paid off every loan I had and had like 20 grand to spare. So, yeah, you're right. I've definitely lost money on the stock market too. All right, I don't want to stop yet because I still have whiskey in these 2 glasses and I'm having kind of a fun time talking to you guys. So the CPU was an i7 at the time, right when i7s came out. And it was, I mean, to give you a time frame, I was excited to have 8 gigs of DDR RAM. So did you ever sports bet? I did, in over 20 years, never lost a penny. Wow, that's a hell of a story, Richie. I did not really, only on the Super Bowl, and even then it's only with like friends. It'd be like $20 max. Usually it's much more of like a glory thing. Like, you do this if you lose, or I do this if I lose, kind of thing. What I do a lot is go to the casino, and I love me some blackjack. I love blackjack and I love craps. 10 minutes still before bourbon blind anyway. Okay, cool. So I'm doing well. Did you ever? All right, so let's see. I just did a ballpark figure, no math involved. Okay, yeah. So Steve, yeah. AMD was $2 a stock before Ryzen came out in 2016. It's over 50 at the moment. Yeah. What are your computer specs now? So Whiskey Central, my computer specs now are I have a laptop. My work laptop is actually way beefier than my home laptop. I need a new computer. I really do. The problem is I have this devoted bit of myself that only wants to do whiskey tube stuff or whiskey dick stuff with whiskey dick money. So a lot of times I end up just kind of waiting to spend money, waiting to save. It's actually been interesting. It's almost like being in my early 20s again and having absolutely no money to my name. Like I think in the whiskey dick account I've got like $800, right? And at any time I might go buy like $100 whiskey. So I try to keep that around, and I'm gonna have to pay taxes on stuff that I sell. Which, by the way, the whiskydictionary.com. I've got all kinds of merch. Gonna be getting those glass toppers back as well. But I would love to buy a new laptop. mostly because editing is kind of a bear on this thing at this point. This will be the first year in 15 that you won't be going to Vegas. Ah, that's a bummer. Yeah. So the specs on this laptop, I couldn't even tell you. I know it's an Asus laptop. It's got. Actually, I have no idea. I'm a terrible software engineer. I have no idea about the specs about my home computer. I can tell you about the specs about my work computer, but nobody cares about that. It's a Lenovo P50, if that matters to you guys. So, which one am I drinking here? This one's the Rampur. This one is Spicy River. Or spicy. The Spey River 28. What's fun is actually building a computer. If any of you guys have never done that, even if you're not technically inclined, it's really not that hard. The hardest part, if I knew nothing about computers, the hardest part would be knowing which pieces I had to buy. And it's not that difficult. You need RAM, you need motherboard, you need a graphics card, you need a hard drive, a couple of other things, a CPU, fans, a box to put it in unless you want to be creative and just build it into something. But hey, Eric, wait. Nice to see you. Speaking of another person who's probably on cocaine, Eric Waite has been putting out a video basically every day. And I'm a little disappointed in the community. People have not been supporting Eric Waite. His videos need to get more views. So go watch his videos. They're probably some of the most informative videos that you're going to find on WhiskyTube. And dude's smart as a I don't know, wet noodle. My work laptop is a Lenovo as well. Lenovo has a big contract out there to get their machine out there. Yeah, totally. I'm actually due for a new laptop, and what kills me, this is kind of my official transition into management, is the laptop I'm looking at. I'm looking to find one that's light so that when I travel to San Diego, it doesn't just sit there and weigh a ton of pounds in my bag. And so the one I'm looking at will probably have a smaller screen, maybe a 15-inch screen, and it will probably only weigh like a couple of pounds. James, I might. Oh, funny thing. So last night when I was on that Skype call, I'm sitting here. It was sitting right in this chair, and I'm just kind of drinking, and I'm sitting here, blah, 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 looking around. And I notice right up there, and I can't move the camera. It's really far. The camera's about like 7 or 8 feet away from me. Right up there, though, it's like a overhang of concrete. Smart as a cucumber. And there's this little tiny baggie up there. And I thought it was a bag of screws or something like that. And I took the baggie down, and it was 100% a ex-weed baggie, probably from the people who used to live here. And somehow I've never seen it. And I took it down, and it had this little icon on the front, and it said something like Get High and Fly was the brand of the weed. I will never buy a Mac laptop. Sorry for any of you Mac lovers out there, but I could not look myself in the face as a developer if I owned a Mac laptop. So I notice a lot of things, apparently, Whiskey Central. But anyway, yeah, so it's up there. So I pull it down, and I'm trying to think about it because I've never been a drug guy. I've actually literally never even had pot. I've just never had any drug. Alcohol is my drug of choice. And so I'm looking at this, and I was like, this is very small for weed. Maybe it was like Coke, And I'm looking at it, I was like, but like, who would have Coke? Now, I had the guys from Mass Save, which is a utility in Massachusetts that comes in. They heat proof your house. They put insulation. They put foam everywhere. They make your house run nice. But they're a lot of them are think like construction workers, right? Like a lot of those guys, there's high turnover, and some of them are not they're unsavory types. So I'm like, there's definitely a chance these guys were just smoking weed in my house while they should have been working. But my wife kind of reminded me that the people who used to live here used to have a teenage son, and that made a lot more sense. And he was very tall too. So yeah, that definitely was probably it. Damn, shut down. Yes. All right. So what I'm going to do, D-Man, is I'm gonna do something a little bit more official, but I am 100% going to do the single barrel proof as one of these episodes. So if anybody out there would like to drink along with me, I'll put out something soon, just to get the word out there. It'll be like 2 or 3 weeks from now. But I'm gonna drink single barrel proof on the stream along with you guys, and we're all gonna do a tasting together, and it'll be super fun, and I'll make it really fun for you. Stay tuned for that. Watch the posts in YouTube's feed, and you'll find something about that, as well as Discord. All right, so let's see. What time is it? So 10:25 sounds about the right time for me to pop off. If anybody would like to keep the party going, sounds like ADHD Whiskey and or Bourbon Blind are going to be going on in about 5 minutes. So get up, go to the bathroom, get yourself another drink, and go watch a stream. Thank you guys all for joining me here tonight on the Wheel of Whiskey, and I had a great time. Make sure to join me next week for the Balcones. I will be interviewing the master distiller as well as one of their marketing guys and talking to them all about Balcones. I know you guys all love Balcones. I know I need to ask about the brimstone, but go to Discord, look for the link about the Google Forms to try to ask whatever questions you guys will think will be prudent and fun to learn about. So thank you all again, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Cheers. Go check out Whiskey Central.